The night split open with Sophia's gasps, her small chest heaving like a bellows gone wrong. Hin Suyin, that cruel thief, stole her breath, and I, Ethan Miller, a father broken by fear, scooped her up and ran. Northwood's ER loomed, its fluorescent buzz a swarm of wasps in my skull. I clutched my 8-year-old, her wheezes a blade in my heart, and stumbled through the doors, shouting for help. Nurses swarmed, their hands quick, their voices a blur of orders. "Stay with me, Soph," I whispered, her eyes wide, trusting, terrified. 5 years back, I'd held Lily's hand in a room like this, her pulse fading under my fingers as cancer claimed her. Now, my daughter fought the same air, and I was helpless, a man drowning in his own skin. The gurney rolled, Sophia's small form swallowed by white coats, and I sank to the cold tile, head in hands, the world a collapsing star. I'd promised Lily I'd keep her safe, but here I was. Failing again, the hospital's hum mocking my vows. My hands shook, grease from the shop still under my nails, a mechanic who couldn't fix this. The clock ticked, each second a hammer on my chest. I saw Lily's face, her smile gone, and Sophia's, fading now. Fear wasn't just a feeling. It was a beast, clawing my insides, whispering I'd lose her too. I prayed, not to a god I trusted, but to anything that'd listen, bargaining my life for hers. The ER's chaos spun, a nurse's shout, a machine's beep, and I was nothing, a father reduced to ash. My pride, my strength, all dust. Sophia was my world, her laughter my sun, and it was slipping. I gripped Lily's wedding band in my pocket, its worn edge cutting my palm, a lifeline to a love I'd failed. If you've ever held your heart's beat in your hands and felt it falter, comment below. I know that terror. I need to know I'm not alone, a man staring into the dark, praying for dawn. I'm Ethan Miller, a mechanic with calloused hands and a soul scarred deep. My auto shop in Northwood, a squat brick hovel, is my battleground, where I wrestle engines and grief. 5 years ago, Lily's cancer left me alone with Sophia, our 8-year-old miracle, her Hin Suyin a shadow that stalks us. I'm no scholar, no hero, just a man who fixes what's broken. Though I can't mend my own cracks, my days start at dawn, checking Sophia's inhaler, her small breath's my compass. I'm stubborn, proud to a fault, my love for her fierce but laced with doubt. Am I enough? The question haunts me, a ghost in the shop's dim light. Lily's death carved me hollow, her laughter a memory I chase in Sophia's smile. I work late, tools clanking, drowning the pain of bills I can't pay. The town knows me as the widower, their pity a weight I shrug off. I'd rather their scorn than their sighs. My heart's a storm, torn between protecting Sophia and fearing I'll fail her like I did Lily. I teach her to draw, her crayons bright against my gray world, but her coughs cut deeper than any blade. The shop's my refuge. Its grease and steel a language I speak fluently. I fix cars for folks who barely pay, my hands steady even when my mind's a wreck. Sophia sleeps nearby, her trust my anchor. But I wrestle demons, grief, fear, the gnawing sense I'm not the father she needs. I keep Lily's ring, worn thin from years of love, in my pocket, a talisman against the dark. It's my vow to fight. Though I stumble, the town's whispers don't reach me here, but their eyes do, judging, waiting for me to break. I won't. Sophia's my reason, her future my fire. I'm no saint, just a man with rough hands and a heart that won't quit, carrying wounds that bleed but don't kill. Each night, I check her breathing, pray she'll outrun this curse, and swear I'll be enough. Even if I don't believe it. When Lily died, I took her wedding band, its gold worn to a thin whisper, and kept it close. Each night, I'd hold it, tracing its curve under the shop's bare bulb, whispering apologies for not saving her. It was my wound made metal, a relic of love and failure. Sophia, at 6, saw me clutching it once, her eyes curious. "Is Mommy in there?" she asked. Voice small. I lied, said it held her love, not wanting her to see my shame. Now, when her Hin Suyin flares, I grip that ring, as if Lily's strength could flow through it to her girl. It's my anchor. A symbol of my loneliness, a father tethered to a past he can't escape. I'd sit with it, tools silent, and feel the weight of promises broken. Lily had believed in me. Her mechanic with dreams bigger than his hands, but cancer didn't care. I'd failed her, and now Sophia's illness mocked me, a cruel echo. The ring was my confession. My plea for forgiveness I didn't deserve. I'd stand in the shop, engine parts scattered, and see her face, her smile a light I couldn't reach. Sophia's drawings hung nearby, her crayons bright. But the ring was my truth, love that endured, guilt that gnawed. I'd hold it during her attacks, praying it carried some magic, some piece of Lily to keep her safe. It symbolized my fight, a man alone against a world that took too much. The town didn't know, didn't care, their eyes on my failures, not my heart. I'd work, ring in pocket, and feel its bite, a reminder I was still here, still fighting. Sophia needed me, and I'd be her shield, though I feared I'd buckle. The ring was my vow, not to Lily, but to the man I had to become. Each night, I'd check Sophia's breathing, hold that band, and swear I'd outlast this pain, even as it carved me deeper. A stranger's shadow was about to pierce my night. The hospital released Sophia, her breath steady but fragile, like a sparrow's wings against a gale. I carried her home, her small hand clutching mine, while the weight of unpaid bills pressed my chest like a vice. My auto shop, a squat brick building on Northwood's edge, groaned under debts. Suppliers called daily, their voices sharp, demanding blood from stone. I'd built the place with Lily, every wrench and bolt a promise to her, but now it bled money, each clank of my tools a reminder of failure. The town saw me as Ethan Miller, the widower, the man who'd lost his shine. Their pity stung worse than scorn, their eyes sliding past me at the market, their whispers trailing like exhaust. Poor Ethan, can't keep up. My brother Tom, a banker with a press suit and a cold stare, came by the shop, his loafers out of place among oil stains. He offered a loan, but his words cut. Get a real job, Ethan. This dump's dragging you down. I clenched my fists, grease under my nails, and said nothing. His smirk was a blade, slicing open old wounds from Lily's family, who'd called me a nobody when we wed. I'd proved them wrong once. But now, I wasn't sure. Sophia's coughs echoed at night, her inhaler a lifeline I could barely afford. I'd check her breathing, then work until dawn, fixing cars for folks who paid late or not at all. The town's mechanic, that's who I was, but to them, I was a ghost, a man half erased by loss. My customers dwindled, some claiming my work was sloppy, others muttering about my cursed luck. I heard it at the diner, where waitresses hushed when I entered, their glances heavy with judgment. I'd sit alone, coffee bitter, Lily's wedding band in my pocket, its worn curve a silent rebuke. I'd promised her Sophia would be safe, but each hospital bill mocked that vow. My pride was afire, but it was burning me alive. The shop's walls seemed to close in, tools glinting like accusations. I'd stand under the lift, staring at a busted engine, and feel the world slipping. Sophia needed me, but I was sinking, the town's eyes and Tom's disdain pulling me under. I wasn't enough. Not for her, not for Lily's memory. The ring weighed like iron, a tether to a man I couldn't be. Tom returned, his shadow filling the shop's doorway like a storm cloud. He held an envelope, his fingers crisp against its edge, and tossed it on my workbench. Sell the shop, Ethan, he said, voice flat. I'll cover Sophia's bills, but you're done here. I stared. The words a punch to my gut. My shop, my life with Lily, reduced to a transaction. I opened the envelope, his offer, a number that'd clear my debts but erase me. You're drowning, he said, eyes hard. You're not enough for her. My brother, my blood, judged me unfit, his verdict colder than the steel around us. I gripped the workbench, knuckles white, and rasped, this is mine. He scoffed. You'll beg me soon, and left, his footsteps fading into the hum of the street. The town's whisper sharpened, knives in the dark. At the hardware store, old man Carter, who'd known me since I was a boy, shook his head. Ethan, you're too stubborn. Let it go. Even Mrs. Hale, my neighbor, who'd brought soup when Lily died, sighed. You're hurting that girl with your pride. Their words were chains, binding me to failure. I found a letter from Lily's sister, tucked in my mailbox, her handwriting neat and cruel. You were never good enough for her, and now Sophia pays. I tore it up, but the truth lingered, a poison in my veins. The shop was my stand, my proof I could provide. But they saw only a fool clinging to scraps. I worked alone that night, fixing a carburetor, the ring in my pocket a burning coal. Lily's love clashed with their contempt, and I felt her absence like a missing limb. They didn't just see me as less. They saw me as nothing, a man who'd let his daughter suffer for ego. I pictured Sophia, her small chest heaving, and wondered if Tom was right. Was I failing her? The town's judgment was a chorus, their voices merging with my own doubts, each one a nail in my resolve. I wanted to scream, to shatter their certainty, but my voice was ash. When those closest stab you deepest, who's left to trust? Was Tom's offer mercy or betrayal? Were they too harsh, or am I blind? Drop your thoughts below. I need to know. I fought back in whispers, not roars. I started fixing cars for free for those who couldn't pay, single moms, old folks, kids with rusted bikes. The shop became a sanctuary, its hum a defiance of Tom's verdict. I'd work past midnight, Sophia asleep on a cot, her drawings taped to the walls. One evening, I fixed Mrs. Hale's Ford. Waving off her crumpled bills, she left a pie, her eyes soft, a crack in the town's armor. I began teaching a few kids to wrench, showing them how to rebuild an engine. Their hands eager despite the town's sneers. Jamal, a lanky teen, stayed late, his focus sharp, calling Sophia a little boss. I saw Lily in her smile, and my heart stirred. I sketched plans for a community repair class, a dream to give back, to prove I was more than their pity. The ring in my pocket felt lighter, a spark of her strength. I left flyers at the diner. The market, my handwriting bold, learned to fix. Free for all. Some nodded, others laughed, calling it a desperate stunt. I didn't care. I fixed a widow's van, bartered for Sophia's clothes, and felt alive, my hands steady. The shop's lights burned bright, a beacon against the dark. Tom drove by once, his eyes narrow, but I ignored him, showing Jamal how to torque a bolt. My rebellion was small, a seed in rocky soil, but it grew. I'd sit with Sophia, her head on my shoulder, and read her stories, promising a future I could build. The town's whispers didn't stop. Some called me reckless, others a dreamer, but a few came, tools in hand, ready to learn. I wasn't shouting yet, but I was moving. Each repair a step against their judgment. The shop wasn't just mine, it was ours, a stand for those the world overlooked. I'd look at Sophia's drawings, her faith in me afire. And no, I couldn't quit. My pride was bruised, but it was mine, and I'd wield it like a hammer. My small spark was about to meet a flame I never expected. That night in the ER. As Sophia's breaths faltered, a woman sat beside me, her presence a quiet harbor in my storm. She didn't speak, just stayed, her eyes carrying a grief I knew too well. I learned her name, Victoria, before she slipped away, leaving only a shadow of warmth. Weeks later, I sat in the shop, tools idle, Sophia drawing nearby, her cough softer but ever present. A news report flickered on the radio, its voice cutting through the hum. Victoria Sterling, CEO of Sterling Corp., billionaire widow, her husband lost in a fiery crash. My heart stopped, the wrench in my hand forgotten. She was no stranger, but a titan, her world of glass towers and power far from my grease-stained life. I clutched Lily's wedding band, its worn edge a tether to my smallness. Her pain had mirrored mine, but this truth, this vast chasm between us, rekindled a fear I'd buried. I saw her face in that hospital, her hand near mine, and felt a fool for thinking we'd shared anything real. The town would laugh, their whispers already sharp. Ethan, chasing a dream too big. Sophia's latest attack had come that morning. Her inhaler barely enough, and I feared losing her as I'd lost Lily. Victoria's memory was a light, but my world was too narrow, too broken for it. I stood under the shop's bare bulb. The radios hum a mocking chant, and pictured her in her empire, untouchable, her kindness a fluke. My pride, already bruised, curled tight, warning me to stay in my place. The town's eyes were everywhere, their judgment a weight I'd carried since Lily's death. I'd felt her strength that night, but now? I was a mechanic, not a man who walked with giants. Sophia needed me whole, not chasing ghosts of connection. I saw Lily's ring, glinting in my palm, and wondered if I'd misread everything. Fear wasn't just losing Sophia, it was daring to hope and falling flat. The shop's walls closed in, tools glinting like accusations, and I felt the gap between us, a canyon I couldn't cross. I wanted to reach out, to believe in that moment, but the world's rules were clear. Men like me didn't touch stars. My heart wrestled, torn between her light and my darkness. And I feared I'd be left with nothing but ash. Sophia's doctor called, his voice grim. Her Hinsuyan was worsening, needing a specialist's care, tests, and treatments I couldn't afford. I sat in the shop, tools scattered, the weight of it crushing me. That evening, my phone rang, Victoria, her number unknown yet unmistakable. "I want to see Sophia," she said. her tone soft but carrying a power I couldn't match. I froze, pride and fear colliding like steel on steel. Letting her in meant opening my world to scrutiny, to the town sneers calling me a leech, a gold digger chasing her wealth. My brother Tom's words echoed, "You're not enough." I agreed to meet at a park, Sophia playing nearby, her laughter a fragile shield. Victoria arrived. Her designer coat a stark contrast to my worn jacket, her smile genuine but her world screaming our divide. She knelt by Sophia, admiring her drawing, and my heart ached. She was real, not a myth. But the town's eyes were on us, their whispers already forming. Ethan's playing a dangerous game. She offered to cover Sophia's medical bills, her voice calm, as if it were nothing. I snapped. "We don't need your charity," my voice harsher than I meant. Her eyes dimmed, hurt flickering, but I saw the town's judgment in every shadow, their voices merging with my own doubts. I pictured Tom, smirking, and Lily's family, who'd called me unworthy. The ring burned in my pocket, Lily's love urging me to trust, but fear held me back, a chain I couldn't break. I walked away. Sophia's hand in mine, leaving Victoria standing there, her offer hanging like smoke. The parched trees loomed, their branches accusing, and I felt the weight of my choice. I'd protected my pride. But at what cost? Sophia's coughs were louder that night, each one a rebuke. I wanted to call Victoria back, to apologize, but the town's gaze stopped me, their rules clear. Men like me didn't belong with women like her. I knew silence would keep us safe, my small world intact, but why must I always bow to their verdict? Should I have accepted her help, risked the talk, or stood firm, no matter the price? Tell me in the comments, what would you have done? I chose to fight, not crumble. Sophia was my North Star, her laughter my strength. And I'd be damned if I let fear win. I worked longer hours, the shops hum a rhythm to drown my doubts. Each car I fixed, each bolt I tightened, was a step toward proving I could provide. Victoria's call lingered, a spark I couldn't snuff out. I invited her to the shop, let her see my world, grease, steel, Sophia's drawings on the walls. She held a wrench, her hands clumsy but earnest, and laughed with Sophia, their voices weaving a thread I hadn't felt since Lily. The town whispered, their eyes sharp, but I stood taller, Lily's ring in my pocket a quiet ally. I wasn't just surviving, I was building, brick by brick. I started a community repair class, teaching kids like Jamal to wrench, their hands eager, their pride a mirror to mine. Sophia helped. Her smile brighter, her inhaler less needed. The shop became a beacon, not just a business, and the town noticed, some nodding approval, others sneering. I didn't care. Victoria came often. Her suits swapped for jeans, her presence a defiance of their scorn. I saw past her wealth to her heart, scarred like mine, and knew this was real. My fear was a shadow, but I was outrunning it. Step by heavy step, I'd sit with Sophia at night, reading her stories, promising a future we'd forge together. The ring felt lighter, Lily's love not a weight but a guide. I swore to protect my daughter, this bond, no matter who stood against us. The towns. Victoria's voice carried a weight I hadn't known, her words spilling like oil over my shop's concrete floor. She spoke of her husband's death, a crash that left her alone in a tower of glass and steel, her empire a hollow crown. I listened, tools still, Sophia napping nearby. Her breath's a soft rhythm against the hum of Northwood's dusk. My heart saw itself in her grief, a mirror of my own loss. Lily's absence a wound that never closed. I'd grip her wedding band in my pocket, its worn edge a question. Could I love again without betraying her? Victoria came often, her visits no longer strange. Her laughter blending with Sophia's as they drew together, crayons scattering color across my gray world. The town watched, their eyes sharp, whispers curling like smoke. Ethan's reaching too high. I ignored them, seeking truth in Victoria's gaze, finding honesty where I'd expected none. She wasn't just wealth, she was a woman, scarred, real. I'd work late, fixing a busted carburetor. And think of her, her strength a fire I wanted to touch. Sophia's drawings now showed three of us, a family I hadn't dared imagine. I found an old photo of Lily in the shop's back room. Her smile bright, and whispered, "Is this okay?" The ring felt lighter, as if she nodded from somewhere beyond. Victoria spoke of Sterling Corp's Community Center, a project to help families like mine, and I saw a chance to build, not just fix. I sketched plans for a repair wing, my pencil rough but sure, ideas flowing like oil through an engine. She listened, her eyes alive, and for the first time, I felt seen, not as a widower, but as a man with something to give. I wasn't a scholar, but I knew my craft, my hands steady where my heart wavered. The shop's lights burned late, tools clanking, and I dug deeper, asking myself if I could bridge our worlds. I'd stand under the lift, engine parts gleaming, and see Sophia's future, not just her illness. Victoria's belief in me was a spark, igniting a truth I'd buried. I wasn't just surviving, I was chasing something bigger for my daughter. For the woman who saw me when I was invisible. The town's whispers grew teeth, biting harder as Victoria's car became a fixture at my shop. My brother Tom saw us at the park, Sophia swinging, Victoria pushing, their laughter a song I hadn't heard in years. He cornered me later, his voice a blade. "She's using you, Ethan. You're a charity case, nothing more." His words stung. Echoing doubts I'd fought to bury, my pride a raw wound under his gaze. I clenched my fists, grease under my nails, and said, "You don't know her." He smirked, "You'll see," and left, his shadow lingering like damp rot. Days later, a call came. Claire, a board member from Sterling Corp., her voice crisp, cold as winter steel. "Stay in your lane, Mr. Miller," she warned, "or we'll make sure your little shop doesn't survive." The threat was clear: step back, or they'd crush me, my business, my world. I stood in the shop, tools silent. Sophia's drawing of us three pinned to the wall, and felt the weight of their power. The town's gossip sharpened, papers hinting at scandal, calling me a climber, a fool chasing gold. I confronted Victoria at her office, a tower of glass that dwarfed my shop, my voice tight. "Is this real, or am I your project?" She met my eyes, steady, and swore it was love, not pity. But Claire's threat hung heavy, a storm cloud over us. I gripped Lily's ring, torn between trust and fear, my heart wrestling with the world's rules. Sophia's coughs worsened that week, her inhaler a lifeline I could barely afford, and I saw the town's eyes in every shadow, judging, waiting for me to fall. I pushed forward, sketching more plans for the center. My ideas grounding Victoria's vision, but Claire's shadow followed, her board whispering ruin. The shop's hum was my anchor, its steel and grease a truth I could hold. I fixed a customer's truck, hands steady, but inside, I shook, the ring of burning coal. Their warnings were clear. I was a mechanic, not a man who walked with titans. Yet Victoria's laughter, Sophia's trust, kept me standing. My resolve a fire they couldn't douse. I wasn't backing down, not now, not when I'd tasted something real. I faced Victoria in the shop, Sophia asleep nearby, her small form a beacon in my dark. "I'm all in," I said, voice raw, "but we fight this together." She nodded, her eyes fierce, and we planned to save the community center, my sketches her map, her resources my tools. I fixed her car that night, left a note under the wiper, "We're stronger than their lies." Sophia woke, drew us as a team, her faith a hammer in my chest. I spoke at a community meeting, my voice steady despite the town's eyes, sharing my story, Lily's loss, Sophia's fight, my dream to build. The crowd listened, some nodding, others skeptical, their whispers a hum I ignored. Victoria stood beside me, her hand brushing mine, a quiet vow. I declared war on the gossip, the threats, the doubt that had chained me. The shop was my stage, its tools my weapons. And I wielded them for Sophia, for Victoria, for the truth I'd found. I taught more kids to wrench, Jamal leading, his pride a mirror to mine. The center's plans grew, my ideas shaping its heart, a place for the overlooked, the broken, like me. I wasn't just a mechanic. I was a builder, my hands rough but sure. The ring in my pocket was a vow, not just to Lily, but to this fight, this love. I'd face Claire, Tom, the town, and prove them wrong, not with words, but with action. The shop's lights burned late, Sophia's drawings a fire in my soul. I saw Lily's smile in her, Victoria's strength beside me, and knew I'd chosen right. They never thought the nobody they mocked would stand this tall. Some will call me a fool, a traitor to my place. But is truth worth the fight? Drop your thoughts below. I need to know. Our first step was small, but the world was about to feel its weight. The community center's repair wing opened under a gray Northwood sky, its doors wide, tools gleaming like promises. I stood at the entrance, Sophia by my side, her small hand in mine, her eyes bright despite the cough that lingered. We'd built this, Victoria and I, a place for kids to learn, to wrench, to rise. I led the first class, teaching 10 teens to rebuild an engine. Their hands clumsy but eager. Jamal, a lanky boy with a quick grin, tightened a bolt and called Sophia "little boss," her laugh a spark in my chest. Victoria funded the tools. But I set the terms, no charity, just partnership. The shop's hum carried over, its steel and grease a language I spoke, now shared. The town came, curious, some joining. Others watching with folded arms. A local paper ran a story, calling it Sterling's project, but the kids' pride was real, their hands steady as they worked. Sophia's health held. Her inhaler tucked away, her smile a sun through the clouds. I felt alive, the weight of Lily's ring in my pocket a quiet ally, not a chain. Victoria worked beside me, her suit swapped for denim. Her laughter blending with the clank of wrenches. We were building, not just a wing, but a bridge between our worlds, a defiance of the town's whispers. The gossip didn't stop. Some called me a dreamer, others a fool, but it mattered less. I taught late, Sophia drawing nearby, her crayons mapping a future I could see. The center was our first step. A spark in the dark, and I wasn't turning back. Each kid who learned, each bolt they turned, was a victory, small but heavy. I'd stand under the shop's lift at night, tools silent, and feel Lily's presence, her love in Sophia's eyes. This wasn't just for us. It was for every family the world overlooked, every kid who needed a chance. The town's eyes were on us, but I met them. Unyielding, my hands rough but sure. We'd started something, and it was growing, a fire they couldn't snuff out. The repair wing thrived, kids like Jamal fixing their first engines. Their grins brighter than the shop's bare bulbs. A girl, Maria, rebuilt a carburetor, her hands steady, and gave Sophia a wrench she'd etched with boss. I believed we were right, that this was justice, a stand against the town's scorn. But Claire, Victoria's board member, struck back, leaking lies to the press, claiming I'd skimmed funds. The headline burned. Mechanic milks Sterling's charity. The town split. Some defended me, their voices loud at the diner. Others spat at my shop, their eyes cold. Sophia overheard a neighbor's jab, her small face crumpling. "Are we bad, Daddy?" I hugged her tight, swearing we weren't, but my heart shook, Lily's ring heavy in my pocket. Victoria fought the board, her voice sharp in meetings. But they pushed to cut the project, calling it a liability. Our victory, those kids, their skills felt hollow, the obstacle a mountain. I fixed a kid's bike, hands trembling. The shop's hum of faint comfort. Claire's lies spread online, comments calling me a leech, a fraud. I showed Sophia the wing, kids working, and said, "This is us." She smiled. But the town's hate lingered, a shadow I couldn't outrun. My first one proved we could build, but now I wondered, was I fighting for fairness or chasing revenge? What do you think? Am I right? Or am I tearing things apart? Share in the comments. I doubled down, my resolve a steel rod in my spine. I taught more classes, kids crowding the wing, their hands eager, their pride afire. I shared our story online, videos of Jamal and Maria wrenching, their voices strong, going viral. Victoria backed me, her faith a shield against the town's barbs. Sophia drew the center. Us three at its core, her faith my anchor. I told her, we're building for you, for them. The town's support grew, some bringing tools, others spreading the word, drowning out the hate. I visited Lily's grave, ring in hand, and whispered, "I'm not replacing you." Her blessing felt real, a warmth in my chest. Victoria and I planned a fundraiser, my shop the stage. Kids showing their skills. I wasn't just committed. I was unbreakable, my heart scarred but fierce. The ring was my vow, to Sophia, to Victoria, to this fight. The shop's lights burned late. Tools clanking, Sophia's laughter a song. I saw Lily in her, Victoria's strength beside me, and knew this was my path. The town could whisper, Claire could scheme, but I'd build, not break. Each kid who learned, each family who came, was proof we were right. I stood taller, meeting the town's eyes, my hands rough but steady. This wasn't just a wing, it was our stand. A beacon for the overlooked. I'd face the storm, the lies, the doubt, and come out standing for my daughter, for the woman who saw me, for the truth we'd forged. Our spark was growing, and the world was about to see it blaze. The fundraiser filled my shop with a pulsing crowd, their voices a river under Northwood's dusk. Kids from the community center's repair wing stood proud. wrenches in hand, showing engines they'd rebuilt. I took the mic, voice raw, and spoke of Lily's loss, Sophia's fight, and the center we'd built against the odds. Sophia stood beside me, her small hand in mine, her smile a beacon through the haze. Victoria was there, her presence a fire, her eyes locked on mine as I poured my heart out. The crowd leaned in, phones up, recording every word, our story rippling beyond the shop's walls. Jamal, now a leader, showed a carburetor he'd fixed, his grin fierce, and the crowd cheered, their claps a thunder. But Claire, Victoria's board member, crashed the scene, her voice venom, accusing me of fraud. "He's stealing from you all," she spat, pointing at me, her suit stark against the shop's grease. I held Sophia close, Lily's ring in my pocket a quiet anchor, my heart pounding but steady. The town split. Some booed Claire, their voices sharp, others nodded, their eyes cold. Whispers of doubt curling like smoke. Victoria stepped forward, her voice cutting through the din, revealing Claire's lies, her boards greed to tank the center for profit. The air crackled. Truth a blade we wielded together. Phones kept rolling, the moment raw, electric, spreading online as hashtags sparked. The shop's tools gleamed, witnesses to our stand. And I felt Lily's love in Sophia's grip, Victoria's strength beside me. This wasn't just a fundraiser, it was our fight, laid bare for all to see. The crowd's hum grew, some shouting support, others murmuring doubt, but I stood tall, my hands rough but sure. We'd built this wing for kids like Jamal, for families like mine, and no lie could break it. The night was ours, the shop a stage, and the world was watching, its eyes wide, waiting for what came next. I pulled out receipts, every cent accounted for, my voice steady as I laid them on a workbench for all to see. Jamal stepped up, his voice clear, calling me family, telling how the wing gave him purpose. Sophia handed Victoria a drawing. Us three, the center behind us, her small hands trembling but proud. The crowd roared, phones flashing, our truth a wave crashing over Claire's lies. Online, our video exploded, comments flooding, hashtags trending. Hashtag Northwood Truth, hashtag Save the Center. Victoria took the mic, her words sharp, exposing Claire's plot to gut the project for her board's gain. She showed emails, proof of their greed, her voice a hammer on their facade. I wasn't a leech, not a fraud. I was a father, a builder, my shop a testament to honest work. The ring in my pocket felt light, Lily's love in every word I spoke, every kid who stood with us. The town's eyes shifted, some softening, others still hard. But the truth was out, a fire they couldn't douse. Maria, another kid from the wing, spoke of fixing her dad's truck, her pride a mirror to mine. And the crowd cheered again, their voices a tide. Claire's face paled, her allies slipping out, their power crumbling under the weight of our proof. The shop's hum was our heartbeat. Its steel and grease a truth the world could see. I held Sophia, her drawing now a symbol, our family of three a stand against the lies. Victoria's hand brushed mine, a quiet vow. And I knew we'd won this round, not just for us, but for every kid in that wing, every family we'd serve. The truth wasn't just ours, it was the town's, the internet's, a story they couldn't ignore. We'd torn down their mask, and they stood exposed, their greed a stain no lie could hide. Claire left, disgraced, her heels clicking out of the shop, the board issuing apologies by morning. The crowd chanted our names, their eyes shifting, seeing me anew, not the widower, but a man who'd fought and stood. Online, support surged, donations pouring in. The center's future bright as the shop's bare bulbs. I held Sophia tight, Victoria's hand in mine, the ring a quiet victory, its weight gone. The town's hum changed, some clapping, others silent. Their doubts shaken, their rules broken. Our video hit millions of views, comments calling us heroes, others still spitting hate, but the tide had turned. The center was saved. Its repair wing a beacon for kids like Jamal, Maria, for families like mine. I looked at Sophia, her smile a sun, and felt Lily's love, not a wound but a guide. Victoria's strength was my shield. Our bond a fire they couldn't touch. That moment, the shop pulsed with belief, the crowd's roar a song of truth. If you've had a moment where the world finally saw you, share it below. I read everyone. They'd mocked us, called me a fool, but we'd shaken their core, proved love and truth could move mountains. I stood under the shop's lift later, tools silent, and felt the weight lift, my heart scarred but whole. The town's eyes didn't scare me anymore. I'd faced them and won. Sophia's drawing hung on the wall, our family of 3 avow. The center our legacy. Claire's lies were dust, her board scrambling, their power a shadow we'd banished. We'd built something real, not just for us, but for Northwood, for the world watching. The ring was my anchor, but I didn't need it to stand. I had Sophia, Victoria, the kids, our truth. The shop's hum was our song, and I knew we'd keep singing, no matter what came. Victory was ours, but my heart still had battles to face. The community center stood firm, its repair wing a beacon, but I woke in the night, sweat cold, heart racing. Was I enough for Sophia, for Victoria? The town's praise felt thin, a fragile skin over their old scorn. I gripped Lily's ring, its worn curve a mirror to my doubts, and saw Tom's smirk in the dark. You're not enough. What if he was right? The shop felt small, its walls pressing, my hands too rough for Victoria's world of glass and steel. I'd built something real, but fear whispered it was sand, ready to crumble. Each night, I checked Sophia's breathing, her small chest rising, and wondered if I'd fail her like I did Lily. The center's kids, Jamal, Maria, looked to me, their trust a weight. Was I a builder or a fool, chasing a dream too big? I stood under the shop's lift, tools silent, and felt my heart waver, scarred by loss, by years of proving myself to a town that didn't care. Victoria's love was a fire, but what if I burned out? The ring bit my palm, a question I couldn't answer. I sat alone in the shop, ring in hand, Lily's smile a ghost in the dim light. My fear was clear, losing again, standing alone with my failures. Sophia's trust, Victoria's strength, they made me feel small, unworthy. I saw their faces, felt their belief, and still doubted. A man haunted by his own shadow. The ring burned, urging me to face it. I feared I didn't deserve this happiness, this chance. Why did I feel so alone, even now? If you fought the world and still felt empty, tell me in the comments, am I the only one? The shop's hum was faint, its steel cold, and I pictured Lily, gone, Sophia, fragile, Victoria, distant. My heart wrestled, torn between love and dread, the weight of being enough. I'd built the center, stood against lies, but inside, I was brittle, a man afraid to break again. I looked at Sophia's drawings, taped to the shop's walls, our family of 3 avow in crayon. I wasn't perfect, but I was theirs, my hands rough but steady. I fixed a car. The clank of tools a rhythm, and knew my worth wasn't in wealth, but in love. Victoria believed in me, Sophia trusted me, and that was enough. I whispered to Lily's ring, I'm here, and felt her nod. A warmth in my chest. The shop's lights burned, the center's kids my proof. I'd built something real. I wasn't the widower, not just the mechanic. I was Ethan, a father, a lover, a builder. The town's doubts, my fears, they'd fade, but this would stand. I'd fight for Sophia, for Victoria, for the truth we'd forged, my heart scarred but whole. The world's chaos loomed. But I was forged for the fight. The center's victory sparked a storm, its repair wing a beacon that split Northwood's heart. Papers hailed me a hero. My shop's grease-stained walls glowing in their ink, but others branded me a fraud, a leech on Victoria's wealth. Online, trolls raged, their comments venom. Miller's a gold digger, tearing the town apart. My brother Tom called, voice cold. You're ruining us, Ethan. Supporters rallied, their voices loud at the diner, but hate stung, sharp as a blade. Sophia saw a headline. Her eyes wide. Why do they lie, Daddy? I held her, my heart a bruise, Lily's ring heavy in my pocket. Claire's allies sued, claiming fraud, dragging Victoria's name through mud. The town's eyes burned, some with pride, others with scorn, their whispers a chorus I couldn't silence. I fixed a kid's bike, hands steady, but inside, I shook, the shop's hum a faint shield. Was I a hero, building hope, or a wrecker, breaking bonds? If you were me, would you stay silent or fight, knowing the cost? Tell me in the comments. The center stood, kids like Jamal wrenching. But the chaos was a weight, my resolve tested by voices that saw only my flaws. Claire's lawsuit faltered, her evidence thin, crumbling under Victoria's lawyer's fire. My shop's books were clean. Every cent traced, my honesty a wall they couldn't breach. Online, our supporters roared, videos of kids fixing engines drowning out the trolls, their hashtags, #NorthwoodTruth blazing. The board fired Claire, our allies scattering, their greed exposed like bone under sun. Papers printed retractions, their ink a faint apology, but the center grew, families joining, their hands eager. I taught late, Sophia by my side, her laughter a spark in the dark. The ring felt light, Lily's love a guide, not a chain. The town's hum shifted, some clapping, others silent, their doubts fading. Jamal led a class, his voice strong, Maria beside him, their pride afire. The shop's tools gleamed, witnesses to our stand, and I stood taller, my heart scarred but whole. Their chaos collapsed. Our truth a mountain, unyielding. Victoria's strength, Sophia's trust. They were my anchors, the center our vow. We'd turned their lies to dust, built something real for Northwood. For the kids who'd rise. The lawsuits in brought new paths, a flood of offers, TV spots, book deals, voices wanting our story. I refused, my shop's hum enough. But Victoria pushed the center's mission, her eyes fierce. Sophia's health stabilized, her cough softer, but I faced a choice. Stay small, safe, or grow with Victoria, step into her world. The ring was my compass, Lily's love urging me forward, not back. I wasn't just a mechanic now, I was a builder, my hands rough but sure, shaping more than engines. The center drew families. Kids like Maria teaching others, their skills a legacy. I stood under the shop's lift, tools quiet, and saw Sophia's future, not just her illness. Victoria planned expansions, my ideas her map. And I nodded, ready. The town's eyes didn't scare me. I'd faced their worst and stood. Sophia's drawings hung on the walls, our family of three a vow. I'd build, not for fame, but for her, for us. For the truth we'd forged. The shop's heartbeat was ours, and I was no longer alone. Allies rose from the dust, and I was ready to meet them. The center's light drew a new face through the shop's doors. Lena, Jamal's mother, her eyes sharp like honed steel. A lawyer, she'd watched our classes, seen her son wield a wrench with pride, and now offered her skills, pro bono, to shield the center from lingering threats. Her voice was steady, her loss, a brother to violence, etched in her gaze, mirroring my own scars. I nodded, gripping Lily's ring, its weight a quiet vow. Lena's grit matched mine, her legal mind a blade we needed. She'd seen the sinner's heart, kids like Sophia finding purpose, and swore to protect it. The shop's hum welcomed her, tools glinting as she spoke of bylaws, defenses, her words a map through chaos. Victoria met her, their handshake firm, a spark of trust. Lena wasn't just help, she was kin, her resolve a fire that warmed the cold edges of my doubt. The town's whispers faded, their scorn no match for her steel. Lena stayed late. Her briefcase open on my workbench, papers mingling with engine parts. Sophia drew for her, a picture of the center, us four now. Me, Victoria, Lena, her. We shared stories. Her loss bleeding into mine. Victoria's grief a thread weaving us tight. Lena laughed when Sophia called her auntie. Her warmth a balm to the shop's hard edges. Victoria trusted her. Sharing plans for the center's growth, my sketches her guide. We were a crew, not just allies. Our bond forged in late nights, coffee gone cold, and Sophia's giggles. The kids noticed, Jamal grinning. Calling us the squad. Lena's legal work sharpened our stand, her mind cutting through threats like a torch. The shop's lights burned, tools quiet, but our purpose roared, a heartbeat shared. I felt Lily's ring, lighter now, her love in this new family we built, unyielding against the world's weight. The center pulsed with life, families joining, their hands eager to build. Kids like Maria taught others, their skills a chain linking us all. I led classes, Lena beside me, her legal shield guarding our work. Jamal fixed a neighbor's car, his pride afire. The town's eyes softening. We were no longer just a wing. We were a tribe, our strength in every bolt turned, every kid who stood taller. The shop's hum was our anthem. Its steel a vow to the overlooked. Victoria funded expansions, my ideas shaping them. Lena's law keeping us safe. Sophia's drawings covered the walls, her faith our fuel. The ring in my pocket was warm, Lily's love in their faces, their hands. We were unbreakable, a community forged in truth, not just for us, but for Northwood's heart, a legacy no lie could touch. Our tribe was rising, and the world would hear its roar. Our story broke wide, a national headline screaming. Mechanic and CEO saved Northwood's heart. The shop's grease-stained walls glowed in newsprint, my name beside Victoria's, a light too bright for my eyes. TV crews parked outside, their lenses hungry, while online, our videos soared. Millions watching Jamal wrench, Sophia smile. Some called us heroes, their comments a tide of hope, but others sneered, spitting venom. Miller's a fraud, Sterling's a fool. The town split. Their voices clashing at the diner, some clapping my back, others turning away. I fixed a car, hands steady, but the noise was a storm. Sophia's small face tense as she saw her drawing on a block. Why do victims get hated for speaking out? I wondered, gripping Lily's ring, its edge a quiet anchor. The center stood tall, kids teaching kids, but the media's glare burned, a test of our truth. Lena, our lawyer ally, warned of lawsuits lurking, shadows of Claire's greed. I stood under the shop's lift, tools quiet, and felt the world's weight, its eyes judging. Victoria's strength held me, her love a shield, but I questioned, was our fight worth this chaos? Share your thoughts below. Why do those who rise get torn down? The shop's hum was our pulse, but the world's roar was louder. A challenge we couldn't ignore. Donations flooded the center, its repair wing expanding, new tools gleaming like stars. Families came, their hands eager, kids like Maria leading classes. Their skills a legacy. Claire faced charges, her lies unraveled in court, Lena's legal blade cutting deep. Papers printed her fall, a faint nod to our truth, while online, supporters chanted #NorthwoodTruth, their voices a wave. The town's hum softened, some who'd scorned me now nodding, their eyes less cold. I taught late, Sophia by my side, her coughs rare, her laughter a spark. The ring was my vow, kept through fire, Lily's love in every bolt turned. Victoria planned scholarships, my ideas shaping them, a future for kids like Jamal. The shop's steel gleamed, a testament to our stand, and I stood taller, my heart scarred but fierce. Justice wasn't just ours, it was Northwood's, a truth forged in grease and grit. I fixed a neighbor's truck, hand sure, and felt the world shift, our story a ripple no light could stop. The center was our answer, a beacon for the overlooked, its doors wide, our love its heart. I let go of hate, its weight too heavy for the shop's light. I forgave Tom, his cold words dust, and Claire, her greed a shadow we'd outrun. The town's scorn faded, their eyes meeting mine. Some with respect, others with quiet shame. I focused on Sophia, her drawings bright, and Victoria, her strength my home. The center thrived, kids wrenching, families building. A tribe no hate could break. I stood under the shop's lift, tools silent, and felt Lily's ring, warm, not a wound but a guide. Our story spread, online and beyond, a light for those who'd lost. I taught Jamal, Maria, their hands steady, their pride a fire I'd helped kindle. Victoria's love was my anchor, Sophia's trust my sky. The shop's hum was our song, its steel avowed a rise, not curse. I didn't hate the haters, they were small, their voices faint against our truth. The center was our legacy, a place for the broken to mend, its doors open, our love eternal. I fixed a kid's bike. Sophia laughing, and knew we'd won, not by hating, but by building. One final test waited, but our fire was ready. A shadow crept back, sharp as a blade in Northwood's dawn. Claire's old ally. A rival CEO named Hargrove dug up my past debts, small loans from lean years, and twisted them into a scandal. Papers screamed. Miller's fraud exposed, painting me a deadbeat. A leech on Victoria's empire. Online, trolls surged, their venom thick, hashtags like #NorthwoodScam trending. Sophia saw a blog, her voice small. Why do they hate us, Daddy? I held her. My heart a stone, Lily's ring biting my palm. The center stood tall, kids wrenching, but Hargrove's lies threatened its roots, his lawyers circling like wolves. The town's eyes turned cold again. Some neighbors shunning us, their faith shaken. I fixed a kid's bike, hands steady, but the shop's hum felt faint, drowned by the storm. Victoria's board wavered. Whispers of cutting the center to save face. Lena, our lawyer, warned of a lawsuit, Hargrove's last play to bury us. I stood under the shop's lift, tools quiet, and felt the weight of their gaze. The world's doubt a chain. Sophia's trust, Victoria's love, they were my fire, but this threat was a gale, testing my steel. I'd faced lies before, but this cut deeper, aiming for my daughter's hope. Our legacy. The shop's walls held me, its steel a vow, and I swore we'd stand, no matter the cost. We faced Hargrove in court, a sterile room of polished wood and sharp suits. Lena led, her voice a blade, slicing through his lies. I took the stand, my words raw, telling of Sophia's fight, Lily's loss, the sinner's truth. My hands, rough with grease, gripped the rail, steady as I spoke of love, not greed. Victoria sat behind, her eyes fierce, her evidence, emails, contracts proving Hargrove's plot to sabotage us for profit. Lena laid out my debts, paid long ago, and showed the sinner's books, clean as dawn. The judge's gaze softened, the room's air shifting, Hargrove's lawyers faltering, their case dust. Outside, supporters rallied, their signs high. Hashtag Northwood Truth blazing online. The town watched, some nodding, others silent, their doubts crumbling. I held Sophia's drawing in my mind, our family of 3, the center behind us, and knew we'd win. The shop's hum echoed in my chest, it steel my spine. Hargrove's eyes met mine, cold but cracking, his empire exposed. Lena's final words landed like a hammer, the judge ruling for us. The center safe. I gripped Lily's ring, Victoria's hand brushing mine, and felt the storm break, our truth a mountain no lie could move. Hargrove faded, his lies ash, the papers printing retractions. Their ink faint. The center thrived, kids like Jamal teaching, Maria fixing a neighbor's car, their pride afire. I stood in the shop, Sophia laughing as she drew, Victoria beside me, her love a steady flame. The town's eyes softened, some clapping my back, others offering quiet nods, their scorn gone. Online, our story soared, millions watching, comments calling us builders, not breakers. The ring was a whisper, Lily's love and Sophia's smile, not a weight. I fixed a truck, and sure, the shops hum our song, its steel of outkept. The center's doors stayed wide. Families joining, their hands eager, our legacy strong. I taught late, kids crowding, their skills a chain linking us all. Victoria planned more, her vision my map, and I nodded, ready. The world's noise faded, our victory quiet, deep, a truth forged in grit. Sophia's trust, Victoria's strength, they were my sky, the shop my ground. I'd faced the worst and stood, not loud, but whole. My heart scarred but full. The center was ours, Northwood's, a beacon no storm could dim. Our love, its eternal spark. Healing beckoned, and I was ready to embrace it. The shop's hum softened as Lena, Jamal's mother, became more than an ally. She became family, her lawyer's steel now a warm hearth. She'd sit with Sophia, teaching her to argue, her laughter bright as the tools glinting under the shop's bare bulbs. Lena's belief in me, her steady hand on my shoulder, mended cracks I'd carried since Lily's death. She'd lost a brother, her grief a mirror to mine, and in her eyes, I saw a strength that held me up. Victoria, too, was a balm, her love a quiet river, washing away the town's old scorn. She'd work beside me, jeans stained with grease, her hands learning the wrench, her heart already knowing mine. The center pulsed with life, kids like Maria and Jamal teaching others, their pride a fire I'd helped kindle. Lena planned legal safeguards, her mind sharp, ensuring the center's doors stayed wide. Sophia drew us all, her crayons weaving a new family in me. Victoria, Lena, the kids. The town's eyes had softened. Some neighbors bringing coffee, their nods a quiet apology for years of doubt. I fixed a car, Sophia giggling nearby, and felt the weight of Lily's ring lighten. Not a wound, but a bridge to this new life. The shop's steel held me, its hum a song of healing. Each bolt turned a step toward peace. Victoria's mansion, once a distant world, became a place we'd visit, but the shop was home, its walls thick with our story. Lena's late-night talks, her stories of loss and fight, showed me I wasn't alone, my scars shared. The center's kids looked to me, not as a hero, but as a father, their trust a salve. I taught them, hands steady, and saw Sophia's future, not just her illness. Victoria's love was a steady flame, burning away my doubts, her faith in me a mirror to Lena's. The town's whispers were gone, replaced by hands that helped, faces that smiled. I stood under the shop's lift, tools quiet, and felt the past loosen, my heart scarred but whole. This family, Lena, Victoria, Sophia, the kids, was my healing, a truth forged in grit and love, a legacy no storm could break. The shop's light burned, our story a beacon, and I knew we'd rise, not just for us, but for Northwood's heart. I walked to Lily's grave, the grass soft under Northwood's dusk, and knelt. Lily's ring warm in my hand. I spoke, voice low, saying goodbye, not to her love, but to the guilt I'd carried for failing her. Cancer had taken her, not me, and I forgave myself. The weight of years falling like dust. The shop's hum echoed in my mind, its steel a vow I'd kept, building for Sophia, for us. I forgave Tom, his cold words a shadow I'd outrun, and the town. Their scorn a faint memory. Victoria stood nearby, her presence a quiet strength, her love freeing me from chains I'd forged. The center thrived, kids wrenching, families joining. A tribe no hate could touch. I'd faced lies, fought storms, and stood, not perfect, but enough. Sophia's laughter, her drawings bright, showed me I was her father, not her failure. I forgave Lily's family, their old jabs, calling me unworthy, now ash in the wind. The shop's walls held me, its tools witnesses to my fight, my healing. I taught Jamal, Maria, their hands steady. Their pride a fire I'd stoked. Victoria's love was my sky, her faith a mirror to my own. I stood at the grave, the ring a guide, not a chain, and felt Lily's nod, her love and Sophia's smile. The town's eyes met mine now, some with respect, others with quiet shame, and I let their past go, my heart lighter. The center's doors stayed wide, its repair wing a legacy. Our story a light for the broken. I fixed a neighbor's car, hand sure, and knew I'd mended more than engines. Sophia ran to me, her arms wide, and I held her, the shop's hum our song. Lena's laughter, Victoria's touch, they were my home, my healing. I'd carried guilt too long, but now I was free, not just for me, but for them, for Northwood. The ring was a vow, kept through fire. And I stood taller, my heart scarred but full. The shop's light burned, the center's kids my proof. We'd built, not broken, a truth no like it dim. I gave Sophia Lily's ring, its gold worn thin, and placed it on a chain around her neck. "Mom's with you," I said, her eyes wide, her smile a sun through Northwood's dawn. She hugged me, the ring glinting, a symbol of love, not loss. A bridge from Lily to our new life. The center's repair wing, named for Lily, stood tall, its doors wide, kids like Jamal and Maria teaching, their hands eager. I walked its halls, Sophia by my side. Victoria's hand in mine, and saw our legacy, a place for the broken to mend. The shop's hum was our heartbeat, its steel a vow kept, each bolt turned a step toward peace. The town came. Their eyes soft, some bringing tools, others stories, their faith in us a fire. I taught late, kids crowding, their skills a chain linking us all. Victoria planned expansions, my ideas her map. Lena's law our shield. Sophia's drawings covered the walls, her crayons weaving our family, me, Victoria, Lena, the kids. The ring on her neck was our healing, a truth forged in grit and love. I fixed a kid's bike, Sophia laughing, and felt the past fade, my heart whole. The center was more than a wing. It was Northwood's heart, a beacon no storm could dim. Online, our story spread. Millions watching, comments calling us builders, not breakers. I stood under the shop's lift, tools quiet, and saw Lily's smile and Sophia's, Victoria's strength beside me. The town's scorn was gone. Their hands now helping, their nods a quiet him. I'd faced lies, fought storms, and healed, not loud, but deep. The ring was a whisper, not a weight, its gold avowed to rise, not fall. Sophia ran to me, the ring glinting, and I knew we'd won, not just for us, but for all who'd lost. The shop's light burned, the center's kids our proof, their pride a fire I'd helped kindle. Victoria's love, Sophia's trust, they were my sky, the shop my ground. The center stood, our love its eternal spark, a legacy for Northwood, for the world. A new dawn called, and I was reborn to meet it. The shop's heartbeat steadied, its steel and grease a cradle for our new life in Northwood's dawn. We lived above, Sophia's laughter echoing through the rafters, her crayons bright against the walls. Victoria moved with us, her mansion a distant echo, her love woven into our small world. The center's repair wing thrived, named for Lily, its doors wide. Kids like Jamal and Maria teaching others, their hands sure. Sophia's asthma softened, her inhaler rarely needed, her smile a sun I chased. I fixed cars, my hands steady. The clank of tools a rhythm of peace. Lena, our lawyer kin, joined us often, her warmth a hearth, her legal shield keeping the center safe. The town's eyes held no scorn now, their nods warm. Some bringing tools, others stories of their own. I taught late, kids crowding the wing, their pride a fire I'd stoked. Victoria's vision grew, my sketches shaping scholarships. A future for the overlooked. The shop was home, its hum our anthem, each bolt turned a vow kept. Sophia wore Lily's ring on a chain, its gold a whisper of her mother's love, not a weight. I stood under the lift, tools quiet, and saw our life stable, scarred, but whole. The world's noise faded, our story a light for Northwood, shared online, millions watching. Neighbors clapped my back. Their faith a quiet hymn, no longer doubting. I held Sophia, Victoria's hand in mine, and knew we'd built more than a center, a home, a legacy. The shop's light burned, our family a beacon, unyielding against any storm. I'd fought lies, faced loss, and found peace, my heart reborn in the glow of their love, a truth no dusk could dim. Our story rippled wide. A stone cast in Northwood's heart, drawing pilgrims to the center's doors. Families came, their hands eager, learning to wrench, to rise, their eyes alive with hope. I spoke at schools. Sophia beside me, her small voice telling of our fight, our love. Her drawings, taped to the shop's walls, showed us three, me, Victoria, her, a family forged in fire. Online, our videos soared. Millions sharing hashtag Northwood Truth, comments calling us builders, not breakers. Kids like Jamal led classes, their skills a chain, teaching others to stand tall. Maria fixed a neighbor's car. Her grin fierce, a spark I'd helped kindle. Victoria funded scholarships, my ideas their bones, giving kids a path I'd never had. I taught late, the shop's hum a song, my hands guiding young ones. Their pride my fuel. Lena's laughter rang, her legal work a shield, ensuring our legacy endured. The town joined us, their scorn gone, their hands helping, their stories blending with ours. I stood under the shop's lift, tools quiet, and saw Lily's love in Sophia's eyes, Victoria's strength beside me. Our story wasn't just ours, it was Northwood's, a light for those who'd lost. I fixed a kid's bike, Sophia giggling, and felt the world shift, our truth a tide no lie could stop. We inspired, not with wealth, but with grit, showing the broken they could mend. The shop's steel held us, its walls thick with hope, a vow to keep rising. Our family, our center, was a beacon, its spark eternal, a legacy for the world to hold. At the center's grand opening, I stood in the repair wing, kids wrenching, Northwood's heart alive. I held a wrench, etched with "Together, we fix anything," and knelt before Victoria, my voice raw. "Marry me." She said yes. Her eyes aflame, Sophia cheering, her ring, Lily's gold, glinting on its chain. Our wedding unfolded there, under the wing's wide roof, families dancing. Jamal and Maria leading kids in a tool toss game. The shop's hum joined the music, its steel a vow eternal. Sophia's drawings hung, our family of three now a tribe. Lena's laughter blending with the crowds. The center was our legacy, named for Lily, its doors a welcome to the broken, the lost. I fixed a kid's bike, Victoria beside me, her hand in mine, and felt the world's weight lift, my heart whole. Online, our story exploded, millions watching, comments flooding. This is love, this is truth. The town clapped, their scorn ash, their hands building with ours. I stood under the shop's lift, tools quiet, and saw Lily's smile in Sophia's, our love a fire no storm could dim. If you've risen from the ashes, don't hide your story, I said, voice steady, eyes on the camera. Share it below, your fight could light someone's way. Thank you for joining us, support our channel, and we'll keep sharing hope. The wrench in my hand, Sophia's ring, the center's hum. They were our symbols, our truth, a legacy for Northwood, for the world. If you found light in darkness, tell us, your story matters. I held Sophia, Victoria's love my sky, and knew we'd won, not loud, but deep, our family eternal. The shop's light burned, our center a beacon, its spark a vow to rise, always.